Okay, good evening, and welcome to the first ever virtual Townshend Town pre-town meeting. I'm glad you could attend this unusual meeting during these unusual times. I would like to offer a special welcome to those who are new to Townsend and those who have never attended a town meeting before. My name is David Lebo, and it is my privilege to serve as your town moderator and will be the moderator for this meeting. This meeting is being streamed live to Comcast channel 1085 and around the globe on YouTube Brattleboro TV and Facebook Brattleboro Community TV. BC TV's coverage of this meeting is made possible by these sponsors. Before we begin, I would like to review instructions on how to participate in the meeting and the meeting guidelines. Please turn off your video and mute your microphone. If you are joining by phone, use *6 to mute or unmute. Please make sure your name is displayed correctly on the screen so you can be called on correctly. Use the rename function to make changes before the opening of the meeting. If you wish to speak, use the raise hand feature under reactions or participants. If you are joining by phone, use *9 to raise or lower your hand. The chat will not be monitored for questions or comments on agenda items. Use the raise hand feature to participate. I will call your name or the last 4 digits of your phone number to speak. BCTV will ask you to turn on your video and unmute your microphone. Before you ask your question, please identify yourself and the street you live on. We do not need your house number. After you're done speaking, please stop your video and mute your microphone. As each agenda item is completed, I will ask the director to lower all the hands, and we will start the line again for the next agenda item. I would like to remind you that this is not town meeting. This is an informational meeting to answer questions related to the warrant articles. Unfortunately, this is not the venue to opine on the articles. We will have an identical informational meeting on the same warrant articles tomorrow, Thursday, February 18th at 6 o'clock on the same link for those unable to attend tonight or would like to enjoy another exciting evening. I will call on the participants as your hands are raised. Use the raised hand feature or the *9 on your phone, and you should magically appear on the screen next to me. And we will try to get the appropriate person to respond to your question to magically appear next to you. Unfortunately, I'm on your screen all the time. To keep things moving, I will allow all to speak once per article and then not more than twice. When we get to elections, I will allow candidates a brief introduction and a short background if they would like. Campaign speeches will be deemed out of order. Now, I would like to point out a specific typo in the town report. Everybody has their town reports in front of them, of course. If you see page 35, the Townsend Historical Society is urging you to vote yes on Article 11. It is misprinted as Article 10. We may be referring back to the town report frequently, so keep it handy. Remember, we are not voting on any articles tonight. There can be no motions or amendments. You cannot change the articles. This is purely an informational meeting. Please ask clarifying questions on the warning articles. The elections on these articles, as written, is on town meeting day, Tuesday, March 2nd at Town Hall from 9 to 7. Other questions or concerns can be directed to Town Hall or the Select Board. At this time, I would usually introduce all those on stage, but since we don't have a stage, speakers should introduce themselves when you pop up on screen, state your name, the road you live on, and your town position if you hold one. I would like to thank BCTV for all the hard work they've put into this production and patience for those of us with technical disabilities. And a big thank you to all those members of the town that have put time and effort into making this meeting happen. There are many here behind the scenes tonight making me look good, and that's not easy. So please bear with us as we stumble through, and I call the February 17th, 2021 Townsend pre-town meeting to order. Article 1. To choose a moderator for the ensuing year. I guess, please raise your hand if you would like to speak to introduce yourself as running as moderator. Do I see any hands? Come on, this is worldwide now, people. Worldwide broadcast. Okay, seeing no hands, I will move on to Article 2. To act upon the July 1st to 2019 to July 30th, 2020 Independent Auditor's Report. Are there any questions? Star 9 on your phone or raise hand feature. I do see one hand. Roger. It works. Hello, Roger.
Good evening. Thank you for doing this. These are trying times, but we're muddling through. I have a couple questions about the auditor's report. I did note that there is a typo on, I don't know if you can see this, a typo in the town plan, town report where there's a big gap.
Page number?
Page number 7.
Okay.
I contacted, just for everyone's assurance, I contacted the auditor and they said that there is no information missing in that big gap. It's a printer's typo. So I am assured by that. My next point is there is note of deficiencies in this report. And I would like to know if these deficiencies were addressed in any way. I know I asked the same question last year when there were deficiencies. I'm not sure if these are the same deficiencies, but any help on this would be appreciated.
Sure. Thank you. I think we'll direct that to Sherwood.
Good afternoon or evening. My name is Sherwood Lake, and I am the chair of the Board of Selectmen. And as far as the deficiencies report, from what I understand about it, they are listed every year. They're kind of a stock and trade thing. There are things that we need to correct. We will work this year towards it. The auditor's report is auditing a system that we have been part of for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and we're actually still learning the ins and outs of it. So there is more to come on this.
Okay. Any other? Okay. Roger? Follow up?
So in light of that answer, part of the deficiency was that that the information for the budget may not be accurate. And I would like to have assurance that the numbers in this report are accurate. Thank you.
To my knowledge, Roger, the information in the report is accurate. In the town report is accurate.
Okay. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Okay. Any other questions on Article 2? Star 9, raised hand feature. Seeing no other questions, we will move on. Clear hands. Yeah, okay. We will move on to Article 3. To see what salaries the town will vote to pay its various officials for the ensuing year. Town clerk, $37,877.77. Town treasurer, $30,450. Select board, 1 chair at $1,200 per year. 4 members, $1,000 per year. And town clerk assistants and casual labor at $14.99 per year. This is last year's voted salaries are on page 48 of your town report. Any questions on those numbers? *9 or raised hand feature. Okay. Seeing, oh, there we go. Sherwood.
Yes, I'd like to point out just a couple of things. With the budget this year in the budget committee, we elected to keep the town clerk's position, even though we are looking at electing a new clerk. We elected to keep the town clerk's position at that rate of pay, and what we had expressed during those meetings was we'd like to see the clerk's office opened 5 days a week, a minimum of 35 hours for that pay. That is the biggest thing of concern that we pointed out that we'd like to see changed in the new treasurer coming on, or excuse me, the new clerk coming on board.
Okay. Any further discussion on Article 3? *9, raised hands. Okay, clear the hands. And we will move on to Article 4. Article 4 is the elections. So the elections will again be held on town meeting day by Australian ballot. The ballots have already been printed. I'm going to go through each of the positions as they're listed in Article 4, and you can raise your hand if you like, and I'll go down in order, and you can say hello, introduce yourself if you would like. If not, that's fine. Each position obviously has a write-in section as well. So if you're not on the ballot and feel like you like to run, you may also raise your hand and speak as well. So let's start with the first position, town clerk position. Is there anybody that would like to say hello for the town clerk position? It's a one-year term, one-year position. That's a thumbs up. Elkina, would you like to talk? There she is. Perfect.
Yes. Hi, my name is Alenka Wasangla. I'm sorry, I don't know how to do the hands up, but I'll just introduce myself really quickly. I've spent my entire childhood and most of my adult life in Townshend. My husband and I are raising our 3 kids in the house that I grew up in and that my parents built when I was a baby. I am very familiar with the local history and the community. I help coach my kids' sports teams and I volunteer at the school. I've had to be able to multitask and be organized and efficient at the job that I just left that I held for over 12 years. I've always been a quick learner and very detail oriented, and I'm currently serving my 2nd term as Justice of the Peace in the town. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for running for such an important position. Anybody else for town clerk that would like to say hello? Okay, seeing no other raised hands or *9s. Town treasurer. Anybody like to speak to town treasurer? Seeing no hands for town treasurer. Select board. The way we're going to do select board, I guess, is by each term. First, we'll talk about the 1 3-year term that is available. Rob Wright is holding that position now. Rob Wright, I believe, is running for that position. Does anybody like to speak and say hello? There's Rob.
I would say that I would gladly run for the position of the 3-year seat and do what I can do, and would be happy to do it.
Thank you. Anybody else for the 3-year position? Okay, seeing, oh, there he is. Hey, gang. Okay, seeing no other hands, we have 2 1-year terms. These 2 terms are held by Irv and by Crystal, who has resigned. So would anybody like to speak to we'll just clump those 2 together and speak to the 2 1-year terms. Yes, Catherine Morrow.
Hi, I'm Catherine Morrow. I'm actually new to town. I just moved to Wyndham Hill Road 3 months ago. But I've been in Wyndham County for about 3 years. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids, and a lot of you might know my husband is the postmaster down in Townshend. So I was just hoping to run for the spot on the select board. I mostly have focused on community service for the past bunch of years since I became a mom. I helped organize like large mask making groups and different organizations like that. So I was just hoping to learn how the town works and maybe help out.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Welcome to town. We always need people to get involved in town affairs. Okay, I see Anita's hand is up. Hi, Anita.
Hi. She can't run for select board. She's not on the voter checklist, and I already informed her of that.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
Okay.
Anybody else running for the 1-year position? Irv. Irv's hand is up. There he is. Hi, Irv. Hi, Irv. Good to go.
I say I'm running for the 1-year term as select board, which I held this past year and have had held in previous years before.
Okay, good. We're glad to have you. Glad you're still serving. Thank you very much. Anybody else running 1-year term on the select board? Seeing no other hands for the 1 year. Let's move on to the 1 year left on a 3-year term. Will Bissonette had resigned and Sherwood Lake was appointed. And so there's the 1 year left on the 3-year. Would anybody like to speak to that 1 year left on a 3-year term? Sherwood.
Yes, my name is Sherwood Lake. I've held this position since Will resigned. I was elected the chair of the board. I've spent the last 3 years as the town's emergency management director, and my background is law enforcement. And I'm interested in fulfilling that 3-year term.
Thank you. Thank you for helping out the town. Okay, next is listers. There is one 3-year term available. Mike Bills holds the position. Would anybody like to speak to that position? Okay, seeing no hands. Delinquent tax collector? Anybody like to speak to delinquent tax collector? Seeing no hands. First constable? That position is up. Delinquent tax collector was held by Becky Riley, sorry. First constable is held by Warren Beatty. Anybody like to speak to that position? Seeing no hands. Second constable is held by Mike Cutts. No hands. The town grand juror will now be appointed by the select board. Library trustees, we have a 1 year left on a 5-year term. Marge Holt, it is Marge Holt's position that Kathy DeGrenier has been appointed to. Would anybody like to speak to that position? No. 5-year term, there's also a 5-year term held by Marilee Atlee. Marilee, yes.
Well, I'm just here. Just want to introduce myself, Marilee Atlee. I'm currently the chair of the library trustees. I've been a volunteer on the board for many years now, and I just really enjoy it and really think it's an important place in our town. I'd like to keep at it for a few more years. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you again for helping the town. Okay, any other hands for library trustees? Seeing no other hands. Cemetery commissioner, Scott Nystrom's 5-year term. Anybody want to speak to cemetery commissioner? Okay, I think that's all of Article 4. Let's move on to Article 5. Clear the hands, move on to Article 5. To see if the town will authorize the selectmen to set a tax rate sufficient to cover all monies raised for municipal entities for the period July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, and borrow money in anticipation of taxes. Any questions, discussions on that? Okay. Seeing no hands. Clear them. And we'll move on to Article 6, to see if the town will authorize its property tax collector to receive its real property taxes quarterly, August 27th, 2021, November 19th, 2021, February 25th, 2022, and May 27th, 2022. Monthly interest will be charged at a rate of 0.5%, a fraction thereof. Interest of 1% or fraction thereof, plus penalties, will commence on May 28th, 2022. Any discussion? Questions? I see no hands. So we will move on to Article 7. To see if the town will vote to appropriate $578,351 to pay for the running expenses and liabilities of the town, of which $324,346 to be raised by taxes. That's on pages 10 through 17 of your town report. Would anybody like to ask any questions? *9 or raise hand feature. Okay, seeing no hands, we will clear them and move on to Article 8. To see if the town will vote to appropriate $702,190 for the running expenses and liabilities of maintaining the town's roads, of which $565,852 to be raised in taxes. That is on page 18 through 23, I believe, of your town report. Any questions or discussion? Raise hand, no. *9. Okay, Article 9. to see if the town will vote to appropriate $187,000 of surplus highway funds to purchase a new 2021 Western Star to replace T1, the 2011 Freightliner that has $0 trade value and is not currently roadworthy. I believe the trucks are listed on page 21 of your report. Are there any questions? Will. Hand is up. Will. There you go.
Okay. And I just had a question about the replacement truck. Will that be single axle or dual axle?
Is Steve here? Yes. Steve Frisk will respond, I believe.
You are unmuted.
Will, that's a single axle truck. This is Stephen Frisk, DPW supervisor.
Thank you, Steve. Any other questions on Article 9? About appropriating for a new truck, new Western Star. Seeing no other hands, we will move on to Article 10 to see if the town will vote to raise $20,000 by taxation for law enforcement services. Any discussion or questions? Seeing no hands raised or star nines pressed, we will clear the hands and move on to Article 11 to see if the town will vote to raise $50,000 by taxation to be held in a reserve account for the repair of the Stone Arch Bridge on Back Windham Road, contingent upon successful award of grant funds. That's spoken about the Historical Society on page 35 in your town reports. Any discussion on Article 9? Seeing no hands raised, we will move on to Article. That was Article 11. Sorry. Roman numerals. See? Dyslexia and Roman numerals. That was Article 11. Article 12, we'll move on to Article 12 to see if the town will vote to raise $54,422 by taxation for the running expenses and liabilities of the library. Library report is on page 38 of your town report. Any questions about the library? Seeing no hands raised, we'll clear them and move on to Article 13 to see if the town will vote to raise $478 by taxation to increase the librarian's operating hours. Any questions or discussion on Article 13? No hands raised. We'll clear them and move on to Article 14 to see if the town will vote to raise $10,000 by taxation to be placed in the Capital Expenditure Fund Fire Department Reserve toward a future pumper. That's, I believe those reserve funds are on page 23 of your town report. Any questions on Article 14? Hands raised? No. There's Article 14. Clear the hands. Article 15. To see if the town will vote to raise $1,800 by taxation for the Old Cemetery Fund. The Old Cemetery Fund report is on page 34. Are there any questions about Article 15? Seeing no hands raised, we'll clear them and move on to Article 16. To see if the town will vote to raise $14,990 by taxation for the support of social services as recommended. That is on page 24 through 25. Any questions to the social services screening team? Seeing no hands being raised or star nines being pressed, we will clear them and move on to Article 17. To see if the town will vote to raise $1,000 by taxation for the support of the Southeastern Vermont Economic Development Strategies as recommended by the Social Services Committee. That is on page 26. Is there anybody that would like to speak towards Article 17? Seeing no hands being raised, we will clear them. 17. We'll move on to Article 18. To see if the town will vote to raise $790 by taxation for the support of Grace Cottage Hospital as recommended by the Social Services Committee. On page 26. Yes, Helen has her hand raised.
Yeah, so this is Helen Holt. I live on Brookline Road. I'm a lister. I'm just wondering why the Social Services Committee knocked down the request from 1,000 to 790.
Okay. Is there somebody here from the Kathy? Kathy Grieve will respond.
Am I good?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay. The main, okay. Yes, I'll start. Okay. Actually, primarily, I mean, I think a lot to do with the fact that we're doing this with Australian ballot. The select board asked us to have come in with a total that was the same as last year because we don't have the opportunity to debate specific items and amend the motion at town meeting. And that's one reason that we so that's we were aiming for that total, and because we didn't get a request from Newbrook, we had a little money to play with, so to speak, and the Grace Cottage is a new request. We haven't had a request from them in several years, and we felt that was an item that some people might want to discuss, so we put it as a separate article. And we did the same with the credit corporation, and just wanted the town to be able to make an individual decision on those while still staying within the total level funding from last year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Uh-huh.
And thank you for your question because it was getting really scary talking to nobody. Okay. Any other questions on Article 18? Hands up, anybody? Raise hand, star 9. Seeing no other hands up, we'll clear them and move on to Article 19 to see if the town will authorize the Board of Selectmen to acquire land by gift or purchase from municipal forest to promote reforestation, water conservation, and good forestry practices. Any hands on that one? Seeing no hands there, we'll clear them. And Article 20, to see if the town will vote to set the first Tuesday in March 2022 as the date for the 163rd Town of Townsend Annual Meeting. Any hands for that one? Well, that completes the warning. Honestly, we don't have any other business to discuss. Would somebody, I mean, that was pretty quick. Does anybody have anything short they would like to say before I close? No hands up. Everything looks good. So seeing no further business to come before this meeting, I declare the meeting adjourned. Again, I would like to thank BCTV for all the hard work behind the scenes, our sponsors for this meeting, and all the towns and townspeople that participated in the meeting. Don't forget, we'll repeat this informational meeting tomorrow, Thursday, February 18th at 6 p.m. on the same link. And don't forget to vote Town Meeting Day, Tuesday, March 2nd at Town Hall from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Have a good evening, stay safe, and let's hope for a normal town meeting next year. Thank you for coming.